Don't you wish life had more zest, more verve, more, I don't know, elan? Well, now there's meaning to your awkward existence. The Genron Corporation. Genron is dedicated to bringing you the most exciting products this side of your face.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today, things are getting strange as we look at the 10 weirdest games released for Sony's second console. The early days of the console wars were akin to the Wild West, and we had no shortage of strange and experimental games, but there are some that managed to stand out even amongst the weirdest ones. What was your favorite strange or weird game on the PS2? Let us know down in the comments. Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Whiplash.
We merge them into new and improved animals in our genetic recombinator. Using this machine, which you have no hope of ever understanding, we can combine two animals into one. Can you imagine a weasel rabbit? Don't you love it? Say you love it. Genron.
Buddy platformers are nothing new, with fan favorites like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and of course the granddaddy of them all, Banjo and Kazooie. But very rarely are these team-ups forced on the characters the way they are in Whiplash. A weasel named Spanx and a rabbit named Redmond are forcibly chained together and must depend on each other to escape an animal testing facility. While the pair need each other to escape, poor Redmond gets the worst end of the deal as Spanx will whip Redmond around the environment to solve puzzles, traverse gaps, and beat up any scientists that get in their way. Players are even encouraged to whip Redmond around the environment to their heart's content, as the game tracks how much damage the pair does to the facility during their escape.
Do you know the secret to defeating the humans?
No, not really.
Cut loose.
In a world where a voice from the heavens tells you to cut loose.
And should they cause more than $6 million in damages, can unlock additional content.
We're out. I can't believe it. We're out!
The Adventures of Darwin. The Adventures of Darwin is a hard game to classify. It's part RTS, part 3D adventure similar to The Legend of Zelda, and part Pikmin. As the titular Darwin, a smarter than your average monkey, begins having nightmares about an impending apocalypse, he takes it upon himself to find a way to stop it. Along the way, Darwin recruits other smaller monkeys to his cause, and can then order them to complete various tasks as well as aid him in battle. As the adventure continues, these minions will become smarter and able to follow more complex commands, such as filing into a single line to avoid traps, or using various weapons against the many enemies Darwin goes monkey paw to monkey paw with. The more quests Darwin completes, the more his village is upgraded and will provide the brave monkey with better materials for his travels. Dr. Muto.
The eccentric madman, scientist, assured the president that this new device could power 12 planets. Muto fought back reporters, saying,
What could possibly go wrong?
To the end of the energy crisis. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is that it?
Many games have players facing off against a mad scientist bent on world destruction, but Dr. Muto puts players in the shoes of one who actually succeeded, even if it was accidentally.
Look. What the? Oh, crap.
After his machine is sabotaged by a rival and destroys Dr. Muto's home planet, the good mad doctor sets out to rebuild his planet by tracking down the components of his Genitor 9000 scattered around the galaxy and the DNA of neighboring species. In order to complete his mission, Dr. Muto gives in to his namesake and mutates into various animals and alien species to retrieve his machine parts and save his home. The best part is no matter what creature the doctor transforms into, they all still sport his mad scientist hair.
You found all the Genitor pieces, Doctor. There must be hordes of demons buying ice skates as we speak.
Under the Skin.
So far, not a single contender has passed trial on this planet. Anyone who could pass would be regarded as a hero!
In Under the Skin, the game, not the Scarlett Johansson movie, players take control of toddler alien Cosme, who, as a rite of passage, must beam down to a planet and cause as much mischief as possible by pranking and being just an all-around nuisance to the general public. Cosme can take over the body of numerous humans, each with their own abilities, and if successful in knocking their target off their feet, literally, will be rewarded with coins that must then be returned safely to their UFO before the angry denizens can discover Cosme's true identity. Developed by Capcom, the game also featured cameos from familiar characters such as Nemesis from the Resident Evil series.
I don't believe it! It's an alien! Somebody get a camera over here, quick!
I want it, Annie.
Katamari Damacy. Arguably the most popular title on our list, as to date the series is still active, Katamari Damacy is nonetheless one of the most successfully weird games in the PS2's library. As the pint-sized prince, you're tasked with rebuilding the cosmos after your father accidentally destroyed it. What this entails is where the weirdness of the game truly comes to light. The prince must use his sticky Katamari ball to roll up anything and everything that gets in his way within a time limit. What starts as tiny objects no bigger than the prince can evolve into the diminutive prince wheeling around a ball filled with everything from wildlife, people, cars, and even skyscrapers. The game's wonderfully weird art style and catchy music, including a bizarre end credit song, made Katamari Damacy an instant hit, and the series would continue even up to current-gen hardware. Tulip. We all grow up with that one crush that's just out of our league. Don't lie, I know it wasn't just me. In Tulip, our love-struck hero lives next door to the girl of his dreams, but when she won't give him the time of day, he attempts to write her a letter, only for it to get lost. As he searches the village for the missing pieces, he completes various and bizarre quests for his neighbors, and after successfully completing said task, will be rewarded with a kiss from each of the townfolk, thus improving his reputation and somehow putting him on his crush's radar. The game is on this list for a reason. Stretch Panic. In what could weirdly be interpreted as a truly bizarre take on the story of Cinderella, Linda is a young girl who lives with her 12 self-absorbed sisters who force Linda to complete all of their chores. So far, so familiar, right? Well, when a mysterious package arrives, all 12 sisters and Linda's scarf are possessed by demons, and Linda must use her now magical scarf to pinch, pull, and stretch her way through a strange new world to save her sisters. Using the scarf, players can pinch and stretch various objects in the environment, as well as pinch and pull enemies' assets to pop the many foes and bosses Linda encounters. Despite an interesting premise and inventive art design, the game received mostly mixed reviews, and for those who actually played it, became something of a fever dream no one was sure actually existed. Dog's Life.
Ah yes, it's great being a dog. Watch this.
Forget the Illumination movie, this is the real secret life of pets. Players take control of Jake, a foxhound with a gas problem, as he tries to save his would-be girlfriend Daisy from the dog catcher. What begins as a simple rescue mission spirals into a conspiracy against all the dogs in the town, and Jake needs to save not just Daisy, but all dog kind from this insane cover-up. Jake has all the abilities you'd expect a four-legged adventurer to have, including smell-o-vision, which is pretty self-explanatory. Jake will need to complete missions all over town and compete against other canines who, once defeated, become playable, complete with their own set of abilities. The game concludes with one of the darkest endings ever seen in an E-rated game, and one that has become the stuff of legend since its release.
Miss Peaches is cat food.
Mr. Mosquito. It's not very often you get to say, "This game sucks," and mean it as a compliment. In order to survive the coming winter, Mr. Mosquito must feed on the Yamada family and build up a supply to last his hibernation. The family maintains a routine the titular mosquito must learn and can only feed from specific parts of the body during given sections of the game. The family isn't unaware of Mr. Mosquito's presence either. Each member has a stress meter that will climb the longer Mr. Mosquito feeds. If the meter gets too high, those members of the family can swat the little pest dead on the spot. However, if he's noticed before his attempts to suck their blood, he will be hunted and have to apply mosquito acupuncture to calm the rampaging human. Honestly, you'll never look at mosquitoes the same way again after this. Gregory Horror Show.
We don't often receive guests at this hour. Perhaps you've somehow managed to lose your way. Or maybe you've just lost your mind.
Despite the cutesy aesthetic, Gregory's Horror Show is more akin to a Stephen King novel about a certain hotel. After mysteriously stumbling across the titular hotel, the player is greeted in a dream by Death, who explains he needs the 12 souls trapped in the hotel by the other guests in order for the player to escape. Along with a patchwork cat's help, the player must spy on the hotel guests, and upon finally stealing one of the trapped souls, escape the enraged guest who will continue to hunt the player for the remainder of the game. Heavy on stealth and a surprisingly unsettling creep factor, the game was generally well received upon release, but unfortunately is the only title on our list not to make it to the United States, only releasing in Japan and the EU.
My beautiful world of chaos. It's burning up. Everything I've worked so hard to achieve. Finished.
Do you agree with our picks? Don't forget to stick around and check out our other videos on MojoPlays.